Hello everybody, so today we're going to be talking about the U.S. policy of containment during the Cold War and was it successful or not. So here we have a big book of history which includes notes. Okay, so as the Cold War progressed, the U.S. employed a policy of containment, which is basically the idea that the Soviet Union wanted to expand communism around the world and just grow their influence in general, while the U.S. wanted to do everything in their power to combat this, i.e. containment. So the Marshall Plan and the Truman Doctrine were both policies that influenced the idea of containment. What was the Marshall Plan? It consisted of the U.S. providing aid to Western Europe after the Second World War. There was a lot of disaster, and basically the idea was if there was more money, more opportunities in Western Europe, then the idea of communism would be less appealing. So it was just an idea of how to contain the spread of communism. Another example was the Truman Doctrine. So this played into containment as President Truman released a statement saying that they would provide political, economic, and military assistance to countries under threat, whether that be internal or external, which was kind of clouded the idea that if communism was threatening other countries, the U.S. would step in. It was just a different way of saying that. American diplomat and historian George Kennan was a huge supporter and advocate of the policy of containment, and he kind of voiced his opinions throughout the country. On March 5th, 1946, Prime Minister Churchill, was invited to give a speech in Missouri with President Truman on his side. His speech is famously referred to as the Iron Curtain speech, where he spoke on the Cold War and the communist 15 columns throughout Europe. He basically also wanted to help strengthen the America and Great Britain during this time when communism was threatening to spread. Now, another aspect of containment, as you can see, a lot of things during the country in America revolved around containment. So another aspect of containment was the Berlin airlift. So the Soviet Union placed a blockade on West Berlin as they opposed communism. So West Berlin was surrounded by communism, but they placed a blockade to limit shipment and stuff. But the U.S. used air packages and sent every supply imaginable to West Berlin, which in some ways is kind of ironic because just 3 short years before, America was fighting Germany in the Second World War. Now, even further east in the world, disaster was happening in Korea. Communist supporters, like about 75,000 of North Korea's People Army, went over the 30th parallel and engaged in war with democratic North Korea. And a few months after, the U.S. sent troops over to support South Korea. The war lasted 3 years and a total of 5 million casualties happened, and it's often referred to as the Forgotten War because it's not talked as much as the Vietnam War. Now, did these policies work? Is an opinion, of course, but I believe that yes, these policies work because if you look around today, the world isn't overcome by communism. Yes, communism did spread to areas like North Korea and in Europe at the time, but it effectively helped stop the spread and just contain it as best as it could. And its effects, you can tell now, the world isn't overcome by communism, and America isn't communist. So it just shows that the policy of containment did work at the time, and it just shows it's evident today as we're not a communist overruled world. Thanks for watching. So that is the policy of containment in the U.S. during the Cold War. Thank you.